Well, hello and welcome to Soap Secrets. So today I am joined by the very lovely Claire Ruck. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Hannah.
And we're going to talk Corrie first, aren't we? And you're going to talk about my favourite storyline, which obviously is very important.
It is. So I know you love this one so much, and we all know that Hope, Fizz's daughter Hope, has had some behavioural issues in the past. If we remember, her half-sister came back into her life and she was starting fires. And my favourite bad thing Hope did was when she sent Evelyn's dog away on a train, which was really mean. But I thought,
that is so horrible.
I know, but I thought that was quite a good one to come up with. I thought that it was for a small child. So...
It's evil. It's nasty.
So she's not happy, Hope. She's not happy that Fizz and Ty have split up. I think she was just settling back into life. You know, she's got a sister, Ruby. Evelyn is really good to her as well, you know. So she was, I think the whole family thing around her was really settling her. And she loves Tyrone. He might not be her natural father, but she loves him as her stepfather. And we've already seen how unhappy she is. We saw the false eyelash scandal with Alina, and then of her running out in front of a car to get Alina into trouble. So you can see things are not right in Hope's
The wheels
world.
are coming off.
The wheels are definitely coming off. She accuses this week Ty of spending all of his money on the new baby, so she's jealous, really, really jealous. I mean, this is a difficult one when you're in a loving family, but when you've got two families, I expect this is even harder because, you know, sibling jealousy is something that can just come out of nowhere and can be quite vicious sometimes. Yeah,
and it can eat people up. I mean, it's a very, very, it's not an attribute. I was about to call it an attribute. It's definitely not an attribute. It's something that you don't want. You know, jealousy just takes over, doesn't it? So,
yes.
I mean, you can see why she is. You know, all the attention is elsewhere.
Yes. Yes. So Fizz is worried about her, but Evelyn says, no, she's fine. She's fine. And when we see Hope ripping off the head of the baby's teddy and stuffing it in her backpack, is she?
I would say not. Just, you know, just going there. I think probably not. And we see Todd finally exposed, don't we, as well?
Yes, I'm not a big fan of Todd, but the wheels definitely come off his life this week. He's been exposed this week because we all know what a bad boy he is, and he split up Billy and his partner Paul. This week, blackmailer Will sends Paul a video detailing all of Todd's crimes, and Paul swaps the laptops at the grand launch of the calendar in Victoria Gardens. And the residents get an eyeful, but it's not quite what they were hoping for. So they don't get to see naked men posing. They get to see all of Todd's crimes.
Well, you know what? Karma, it comes round, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It
really does.
And but can he redeem himself this week when he realises that Summer is very unwell and kicks down the door to find her unconscious on the kitchen floor? Now, we all know Summer has been diagnosed with diabetes. It's come at an awkward time in the teenager's life, and she's in denial about it. So she's drinking fizzy drinks and not keeping to a strict diet, and keeping her blood sugar level. So this week she's fallen into a diabetic coma.
Oh gosh! Do we know the outcome?
Kick the door down. So I'm guessing that she's going to be okay.
Good. Let's end that one on a positive note, Claire. Yes. Moving over to the Dales, though, not quite so positive because it's Leanna's funeral.
It is. So Liam has been deep in grief and not communicating with his loved ones. We've all seen that. We've seen Meena last week fiddling, being evil, revelling in his pain and everybody else's pain, because Leanna was loved by the whole village. I mean, obviously her father has the most grief and pain, but, you know, there are other people who are affected by her death. And his new wife, Leanna, and so he's arguing with her, and he's not getting on with Jacob, Leanna's boyfriend. And so, you know, they wanted to arrange the funeral, but, you know, so a funeral, obviously arranging funerals enormously difficult, but this is made even worse when people are all at odds. And the funeral does take place, and Meena attends. Isn't that? They do say that sometimes killers.
Well, she's getting off on this, isn't she? I mean, this is the thing. She's not a killer that's sort of on the run. This is someone who is completely almost at ease with what they've done, and
Yes.
is willing, and in a way probably puts more people off the scent.
Yes, but she makes a fatal error this week, because remember the ring I kept talking about?
It's like a trophy, isn't it, for her?
It is. So she's got it on a chain around her neck, like as a necklace. So she keeps fiddling with it, and touching it and fiddling, and the necklace breaks and the ring falls, and Meena watches in horror as it rolls away from her and stops near Liam's shoe. Will she be found out?
I feel like this story's got more time to run, so I'm going to say no, she's not been found out, and that there's going to be a way that she gets it before he sees it, or that she can excuse herself from it. I don't know, but
yes.
Either way, I feel like this has got much longer to go.
Yes, I would say that too, because it wasn't Jacob's shoe it landed near. Now the proposal that Jacob did with that ring was a kind of a jokey one, so it wasn't a big announcement. So really nobody apart from Jacob would recognise that ring. So I don't think Liam's going to recognise that ring, and he might well just pick it up and give it back to her. He might tread on it and break it. He might do all sorts of things. Might happen.
Yeah,
somebody else might pick it up.
You don't sort of see that and think, oh right, well you must be the killer then. I mean, it's not going to be the automatic kind of connection, is it?
No.
And there's also a really very topical storyline this week, because Marlon discovers that his daughter April has been suffering from online bullying, something that is just such a massive, massive thing. And we've seen it in the national press, haven't we, with regards to the England football team and the way people have been behaving. So this is really kind of quite topical at the moment, I'd say. But she hasn't confided in him, but this has got to the point where an adult needs to be involved.
Yes, she is. So she confided into her friends, Heathcliff and Kathy, the twins, and they know about it. But she, as you said, she hasn't told her dad. And this week, a troll account has been created online by the online bully called Dead Donna. Now, April's mum died in 2014 when April was only 4. So, this is a big thing. Her mum was a police woman. She was also she was a dirty policewoman, if you like. She wasn't quite on the straight and narrow, and she died in a falling off a car park when she was trying to arrest someone. So this is a big thing. And when Marlon discovers April at her mum's grave, because she does miss her mum. It's difficult. Marlon's great as a single dad, but sometimes you just need a woman in your life, don't you, to discuss these sorts of things. And she hasn't quite had that. When he finds her at her mum's grave, the whole story comes out, and Marlon vows to end it. So this is a big thing for Marlon and April.
Yeah, it's a good storyline, and one that hopefully, if anyone is being bullied, feels that they can find strength to tell somebody, because if you can tell somebody, they can try and help end the horrors that online bullying can cause.
Yes.
Okay, Hollyoaks. Not much more happiness here. Mercy is back in the village because she's had that very short stay in a psychiatric ward. Because if you remember, she stole Cher stole Diane's new baby Eva and placed her by Mercy's side when she was sleeping. It was all really a bit creepy, wasn't it?
Yes.
So she went. She's had a bit of a time away, but she's back.
Yes. So Cher hates her stepmother Mercy, and so she set her up with when she kidnapped Diane's new baby Eva, and because she had made Mercy think that she was pregnant, and then when she discovered she wasn't pregnant, she had this sort of public meltdown, and then people automatically assumed that because she'd had this public meltdown that she wasn't pregnant, that she had gone out and stolen the new baby, Diane's new baby. So she had a little bit of a stay in the psychiatric ward, so she's back, which is great. She only had a couple of weeks away, but stepdaughter Cher still doesn't like her, so that's not stopping anytime soon, and she's meddling, and she suggests that Tony goes to see Mercy knowing that it will upset her because, Tony was the dad and everything. But instead, Mercy makes a shocking discovery. And this leads her to believe that she didn't steal Little Eva because, Mercy was so upset. She thought, maybe I did do it and I don't remember. But she believes that she didn't steal Little Eva, but she is pointing the blame at the wrong person. And of course, you probably wouldn't think that your stepdaughter had stolen a baby and tried to pit you up, would you, Hannah?
No, you wouldn't. It's really, really sick stuff, isn't it? And yes. Making her feel like she's going mad, and she's not. And she's gone had to have this stay in a psychiatric ward when she just didn't need to be there.
Yes. And Perry overhears a conversation Mercy is having, and she gets the wrong end of the stick. But the result is that Cher is revealed as being the baby kidnapper. And armed with this info, Mercy confronts her stepdaughter after the months and months of manipulation. Will Cher admit the truth? And will Mercy tell Silver that what his daughter is really like? So we'll have to wait and see.
It's quite a big storyline. I hope she is found out. It's absolutely horrid. Makes my skin crawl. And there's also some revenge in the village, isn't there? Because Fergus and Warren tried to get under Felix's skin by buying Price Slice.
Yes. Now, he wants to upset Felix, so he wants to buy the Devereux family's shop Price Slice, but they refuse to sell. Which is quite why would you? It's their business. They built it up, etc. So then Fergus is really horrible, and Warren's sort of his sidekick now. So Warren agrees to rob the place. Now that's not very nice, being in a place that's being robbed, because it's frightening. It makes you worried to go back in there to work. And so he does do the robbery. And one resident's life is in jeopardy after the altercation during the robbery. Can the police work out that Warren was involved?
Oh, Warren! I imagine
he's a killer. He has killed like 6 people, Warren.
I know, but it doesn't. I suppose this is just small fry by comparison, frankly.
Yes.
Oh dear. Now, obviously, Olympics is on. We've gone from one sporting event to another. So EastEnders is on after 9 p.m. If that is a little late for you, then don't worry, because this week's episode will be on iPlayer from Monday the 26th of July, so you can watch them when you want. It's absolutely perfect. The joy of modern technology. Now, last but definitely not least, EastEnders. Tell me, is the game up for Grey this week? Is it?
Well, I don't think it is quite yet, but we know that Chelsea has moved in with him and they're sort of fooling around in the car, shall we say, and she finds an earring of Tina's. Now, we know that when he killed Tina, he did transport her body to throw into the River Thames in his car. So at some point, an earring fell off of Tina, and here it is. It's been in the car all this time because that was Christmas. Will she? Now, what you have to ask yourself is, there is this earring, so it could link Grey to Tina, but would Chelsea actually know that it's Tina's? Because I don't think they overlapped. And I'll be honest with you, I know I'm not a big jewellery fan, I'll be honest, but I'm not sure I would recognise a friend's earrings unless they were special.
About to say, I mean, the listeners can't see the earrings I'm wearing today, which are absolutely huge statement earrings. You might remember these,
yes,
but you wouldn't remember. You're quite right. You wouldn't just notice people's stud earrings or small earrings, would you? Well, unless you're an incredibly observant person, you're absolutely right.
No, so I wouldn't, unless they're like the lovely earrings you're wearing. Really, I don't think I'd recognise a pair of earrings from a friend. So I probably wouldn't go, oh, I think that looks like so and so's earrings. So will she think they're Tina's? Probably not. Will she think there's another woman in his life? She might do. I'm not sure that Chelsea would care. Chelsea is just Chelsea. She's hopeless with the kids. So I'm still going Bonnie and Clyde with this pair. But we could ask, is it the beginning of the end for Grey? Because we do have this item
Well, I mean, the wheels have got to come off at some point, or slowly start to come off. I mean, you can't. Although, like we just said, with Warren, they have lasted much longer than Grey, but he's got to come to some resolution in the end. So,
Yes.
so perhaps. And Nancy and Zach, they're sneaking around, aren't they, behind Mick's back? And this week is the game up? He suspects something.
So I have to say, Hannah, I don't really think Mick has a right to say anything, because Nancy she's a married woman who's getting a divorce. She's not 16 or even 18. She's a grown woman.
She's allowed to do what she's allowed to do.
Yes, quite. And Zach's also a grown man, and they're both single. They're not hurting anyone. They're not having an affair. Just because he doesn't want his daughter dating Zach is a different thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So they've been sneaking around behind Mick's back, and he does suspect something. And he storms into the gym and demands that Zach ends things with Nancy. And when Zach confesses to Sharon, his sister, that he was involved with Nancy's hit and run, he has to choose between his head and his heart. And he does break things off with Nancy. But Mick is guilt-ridden when he comforts and upset Nancy, and quite frankly, so he should be.
Yeah, but all a bit unnecessary, Mick.
Yes, you shouldn't be. You're adults. Yeah, adults.
I know. I don't know why he's getting involved, but that's what all soap's all about, isn't it? Nosy neighbours getting involved in business they shouldn't get involved in. There's a moral to this week's Soap Secrets. And that brings us to the end, I'm afraid, of this week's podcast. But we will be back next week. I'm sure we'll still be slightly changed times in terms of when all the soaps are going out with the Olympics, but we will let you know when they're going out. And, of course, you can watch it on Catch Up too. Thanks for listening, and we will be back next week.